Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Liz, and on this channel we talk about all things faith and fitness. So I am so excited to get into today's topic. I'll be shedding some light on my weight loss journey, my experiences, some struggles that I went through, and how I, overcame things like overeating, laziness, where my motivation came from. We're gonna get into like all those details. So I'm super excited to be sharing this with you guys today. So let's get right into it. Okay, so where do we begin? Alrighty, so I guess I will go ahead and start by giving a little bit of backstory as to where I was mentally, how the weight gain came about, and what life was looking like during that time. There was an email that came out at work, and they're like, all right, due to everything that's going on with the pandemic, we are going to have everybody just work remote. So from then, I got super excited to work from home, but I didn't realize some of the effects that would quickly follow suit. And during this time, I was actually in a relationship as well. So, being in a relationship with someone, we're in close proximity. I think he was about, about 20 or so minutes from where I stayed. So a lot of the time we spent quite a bit of time together. And there was really nothing to do than to really be like in the house. So we spent a lot of time like watching movies, and with watching movies comes movie snacks. And one movie turns into another, and then before you know it, you're eating late. The days start to run into each other. I do remember like at the beginning of everything that was going on, I feel like I can't really say like the C word or whatever because of YouTube, but anyways. So one of the things that I think a lot of people can agree with me on is that at the beginning of the whole pandemic, and then as it progressed, because majority of us were remote or being having to be quarantined, the days started to run into one another. Sometimes you lose track. It's like, crap, what day is it? You're not really paying attention to maybe certain schedules. The time it just passes. So my routine that I had before COVID was, I was working out often. I had a personal trainer. I spent a lot of time cooking, things at home and not eating out. And it's almost as if like a switch happened. So from there, it just continued. It continued. The cycle just, it was a mess. So before you know it, I started to go ahead and try on some of my clothes, and those things weren't fitting. They weren't fitting at all. I started to realize that I was struggling quite a bit to get into some of my jeans. My tops would be like a little snug, like around like the neck area, the sleeves area. It was just, I started to catch on after some time, and I was like, my clothes are shrinking. It's not me. Anyways, completely in denial, but it just progressed. So then one day I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and get on the scale. And I couldn't believe what I saw. I could not believe what I saw. I was like, am I really this far gone? Say it's not so, but it was so. Long story short, during the pandemic, I gained 55 pounds in total. And it just packed on quickly, easily. I wasn't mindful of my eating. And then on top of that, I ate really large portions of really bad things. I don't want to call a food bad, but maybe it just wasn't the healthiest option. I literally ate like, what's the little standard size of Ben & Jerry's? I think I ate like one of those a night. And now looking back at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, the calories, the carbs, the sugar, and this thing is, anyways, it was a lot. So that's what happened. Mentally, I could definitely say that it affected me. It affected my confidence a lot, because as I said, I was in a relationship and I would just feel so, I didn't feel confident. I was like, is he still attracted to me? I'm kind of like not really feeling myself right now, so how can he be feeling me? But he would always let me know, no, you know, you're fine, this is that and the other. But deep down, you know, I struggled. I would feel like every time we went out, I'm like, ugh, everybody else is super like attractive and you know, fit, and I'm not. So I would project that onto my then partner, and it became overwhelming for him too. It's like he would always tell me, no, you're fine, but this is just my insecurities pouring out, you know, at this point. So that was a thing in itself. Another thing was my skin. My skin was horrendous at this point. And it was because I was not making like things like water, vegetables a priority. I ate whatever, whenever. And for me, I know that reflects differently on, you know, different people, but for me, that really reflected on my skin. And it was really bad because I, you know, I used to be a makeup artist, and even just applying makeup, like I didn't like how it would turn out, because your makeup is only as good as your skin is. So, and my skin wasn't really giving what it was supposed to give. So, so that was something else. So I noticed, you know, my skin was kind of like breaking out quite a bit on my face. It was just really bad. So that was another thing. So I was really starting to feel the effects, see the effects of, you know, of the overeating, of the mindless eating. It had gotten way out of control. So that's when, you know, I was like, okay, something has to be done. So I started to go ahead and work out on my own. I think I found like a trainer, not a trainer. I think I found a group class. I found a group class online. So I paid for that and I would go, but I wasn't consistent. So I started, that's when I started, you know, my YouTube page, and I'm like, I'm gonna document this, it's gonna be great. And it wasn't given none of that. It wasn't given none of that. Like, I just found it really hard to be consistent. And then on top of that, I would also like lean towards like fad diets. I think I remember one specifically that I did called the Cert Food diet, or I think that's a diet that like Adele did. So I tried that, and I actually did lose weight with it. It worked, but and I didn't gain the weight back. But the thing is that that's not sustainable. Like, to drink that green concoction every day with a giant smile on your face, it just wasn't cutting it. I knew it wasn't going to be something that I would be able to sustain. One side of me, I'm like trying to go ahead and, you know, be healthy and eat appropriately, eat right things, or quote unquote right things. But I was still inconsistent. I still didn't necessarily know exactly what I was doing, but I did try. I remember going to the gym, and I always like to say I had gym anxiety. I didn't like going to the gym during the day, just because it was a lot of people and it was overwhelming for me. And I knew it wasn't because of like the excess weight, because even, you know, when I was slimmer, I still don't like to go to the gym, or big gyms, if you will, because it just makes me freak out. But anyways, that's besides the point. So I would go to the gym. I would work out as best as I can. I would probably find like a video or a reel, I think is what they call it, on Instagram or social media. And I'm like, this workout looks great. Let's do this. So I will try to go ahead and incorporate some of those workouts that I would just randomly find online. I would just try to do something. My form was terrible. It wasn't, you know, the best that I could have done, but one thing I will give myself credit for is that I did something, you know, like I tried. I did try. I was a huge cardio buddy. I personally love to walk. Whether that be like on the treadmill or outdoors, I love to walk. So I always like went on my walks as much as I could. but the consistency wasn't the best. So fast forward let's fast forward a couple months of this inconsistency. I was like, all right, something's got to give. I really need like some accountability. Fast forward some time later, I actually got in contact with a new trainer. And this is actually how we connected. We connected via social media. We've always had each other's social media, but I initially found her because when I used to do makeup artistry for fitness competitors or bodybuilders, she was one of my clients at the time. So I followed her social media from way back when. So we've always seen each other's posts and everything. So I think I saw her post pop up, and I was like, wow, I could reach out to her and hopefully she'd be able to help me. And she was just so welcoming. Devin, if you're watching this, hey. She was so welcoming and so ready to help. And so immediately I signed up with her and for Kale Fitness. And her partner, they kind of like did it as like a team, and they were just phenomenal. So shout out to Devin and Coach Izzy, like they're amazing. Anyways, so yeah, so I signed up with them, and this was, let's say August 1st. August 1st was my first day, August 1st, 2021. Okay, awesome. So yeah, so this is when I started with them. Again, I'm still around like that whole 244, 245 mark, maybe if not more, because at that point, I didn't even want to get, on the scale. So yeah. So, and every day, I think we did 4 days a week. And then with time, we eventually progressed to 5 days a week. But that's when I started to get, a bit more consistent. I had a routine. I had no idea that you work certain parts of your body on certain days, or it'd probably be advised or best to do that. The knowledge that came with having them as trainers was amazing. They gave me a meal plan, so the things that I ate was very specific. And I didn't have to cut out carbs. I know a lot of people worry about that. You still eat rice? I'm Nigerian. I have to eat rice. Let me stop. But anyways, I love rice. Like, I'm not getting rid of rice for anybody. So the rice stayed, the carbs stayed, but everything in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. So yeah, so I had my meal plan. I was working out 4 days a week, which eventually progressed to 5. And then with time, oh my goodness, I was literally like in shock. I started to go ahead and, feel my clothes fit differently. My confidence started to come back. The process in itself, it was definitely beautiful to see. I'm not gonna lie and say that the process was just super like smooth sailing after I hired my trainers, because there were times where I would talk to my trainers and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm seeing a difference as quickly as I would like to. I would be really tough on myself. I'm like, I need to lose 5 pounds this week. I really would set like really heavy unrealistic expectations on myself. And that just makes the journey like that much harder. It's like, I know people have probably heard this quite a bit, to enjoy the process, embrace the process, go with the flow, take it one day at a time. Don't look at this as a short-term thing. Look at it as long-term. Look at it as a new lifestyle, as a lifestyle change. It sounds cliche, but it's so true. Because it's like when you're like, and oh my goodness, let me tell you guys, I monitored the, what is it called? The scale, like nobody's business. Oh my goodness. I got on the scale maybe like twice a day. It was a mess. And thank God I've been delivered from the scale, because it just messes with, your mental so much. At least it did for me. And now that I'm at a place where, I'm comfortable, I don't remember the last time I've gotten on the scale. I try to go by, my pictures and how my clothes are fitting. So that's awesome. Yeah, so the journey, so that's where I was at with the journey around from August, and then all the way till January 30th was my last day with my trainers. I personally left, I left for personal reasons. It had nothing to do with my trainers. They're amazing. But I left for personal reasons, and then I slowed down a little bit with, you know, with fitness, but I got like right back on track. I kid you not, like a week or two later. And then this is where, separate from my actual like weight loss journey, I guess, so it kind of transitions a little bit into where I was, like my spiritual walk. That's where the crossover comes. So I had received around February 19th, I think that's when I started to do a fast. And then that's when I started my 40-day fast. And I'm pretty stubborn. I know when you're fasting, you're not supposed to do, you know, the most with your workout, and you know, don't be too strenuous on your body and everything like that. But I loved to walk. I love to this day, I love to walk. So every day I still went on a walk, although I was on a 40-day fast and I wasn't eating for the first 5 days or so. I didn't drink anything at all, so I did dry. And then I think about for the next 5 or so days, again after that, I did water. Then I transitioned to juice. So I wasn't eating, I didn't eat anything for a good 40 days. So let's just say that any workout that I did during that time was a walk. I did some strength training. I wasn't supposed to do this, and I do not advise. I was being stubborn. But I did a walk, and my last exercise at all, including walks, was day 20. I was too weak, of course, at that point, and I literally remember going on a walk on that day, and my heart was like racing. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, God, is this it? Is it my time? I was like, oh my, I've never felt, you know, and I'm already walking as slow as a snail. Like you know, I was walking, I wasn't power walking or anything, but I was still, you know, going as slowly as I could. I still wanted to walk. And then I was like, all right, Lord, I'm sorry. I'm gonna listen, I'm gonna be obedient, I'm gonna just sit down and not, you know, push my body too much. But that is, you know, so yeah, so that was the transition. So stop the training end of January 2021, and then slow down, pick back up a little bit, literally for like a couple of days, and then February 19th is when I started my fast, and then I stopped working out I stopped working out 20 days into my 40-day fast. There it is. Okay, so fast forward after the fast again. So the 40 days are over. Of course, I lost a significant amount of weight again. I lost about, I think I lost about 40 plus pounds during the fast. But the most important thing I want to say is that I do not accredit any of my like weight loss to that fast, because, sorry, I thought I heard something. I do not credit any of my weight loss to the fast, because you know how the body is. It's basically considered starvation mode at that point. So anything that you eat after that, it holds on to it. Like I literally looked at the scale. I think it went from like 159 to like 180 in like a couple of days. I was like, okay. So it wasn't, you know, it wasn't anything. And I saw it as well, like a couple of days after the fast. Like I started to, because I'm taking things in again, I felt like my face started to get a little like, you know, get some life back into it. So I noticed some fullness in my face, my arms, my thighs, like it came back, you know. So again, that was a fast for spiritual reasons, to seek the face of God, and it was not to lose weight. It had nothing to do with losing weight at all. Yeah, so after that, I literally picked up my workout routine like it was nothing. So the same workout routine that, you know, I did with my previous trainers, you know, some months earlier, I just picked right back up on my own. You know, at this point, I remember the workouts that I did, and I've seen, you know, the results. And I think there's something also called like progressive overload. So over time, you know, I find a certain weight to be, you know, maybe like a little easier to lift. So I'm like, okay, now it's time to go ahead and go up maybe 5 pounds, whatever, you know. And I just progressed, and I continued, and I significantly changed my eating. Like a lot of the things that I ate in the past, I don't eat anymore. Like I used to cook my foods with like a lot of like oil. I would sometimes fry some of my foods. My portions of rice was portions for 2 or 3 people. Well, it probably was. I like really love rice, so I ate like I ate a lot of rice. So the rice was a thing, the oil was a thing, the chips, the eating out, you know, constantly stopping, you know, because it's convenient. So eating fast food a lot, all of those things out. I replaced everything that I drink with like sugar-free drinks. So there's sometimes that, you know, a lot of times I drink water, but sometimes if I'm craving something sweeter, that's fine. I'll have something sweet, but it won't include sugar. It'll just be like 0 sugar or sugar-free or something like that. So yeah, I try my hardest not to consume my calories by drinking them. And if I do drink them, it'll probably be like 10 calories or 5 calories or something like that. Personally, I've always been a person that's liked vegetables. I love a good stir fry. I love my broccoli. There's a salad that I've been on. I can't wait to like probably do like another video and like tell you guys some of these other things and show you what I eat in a day. But kale salad, to me, I love salmon. Like I just really like cleaned up my diet. And I increased my protein. So my protein intake, I put that up quite a bit, and then I will also credit a lot of my weight loss to walking. Oh my goodness, I averaged probably like anywhere from like 10 to 12,000, sometimes 14,000 steps a day. I would just go. I just love to walk. It's therapeutic for me. It's relaxing. I can listen to an audiobook. I can listen to YouTube. I can listen to music. I could pray. A lot of times I pray as I'm walking, and you know, I'm just going, you know, so that helped me out a lot. So yeah, so as far as like, you know, any additional details for, you know, what I actually did to lose the weight, walking, I don't drink my calories, try not to. I increased my protein significantly. I always try to go ahead and fill up my meal with like more veggies and everything, reduce my portion sizes. So I don't eat, you know, as much rice as I know that I can put away. I try not to do that, you know, I try not to do that, but I don't find cutting out certain food groups sustainable for me. It might be sustainable for someone else, but for example, carbs, I'm not doing that. So, you know, we need the pasta, we need the rice, but a smaller portion is, you know, definitely the way to go, and something that I would absolutely recommend. So yeah, that's how it's been for me. So like I said, I didn't start off with strength training. I was very cardio heavy. So some people, you know, when they maybe see social media or they see a friend that they have that's into fitness, it's like, man, I need to lift up these heavy dumbbells. I need to go in, it's like, well, no, you don't. It's like, start from somewhere, you know, start from somewhere. Don't always listen to all the hype and believe the hype that you need to be going full force, you know, off the wall when you're not, you know, you haven't really done it before. You know, it's like, allow yourself some grace, you know, start from where you're at, be patient with yourself, but also push yourself, you know what I mean? So if you did a 10-minute walk yesterday, well, you know, do a 15-minute walk today. Push yourself. If you know that maybe you're going out for dinner later with a friend, it's like, well, maybe try to have a lighter meal earlier, because you already know that you're going out later, instead of having a heavy meal earlier and then also another heavy meal later. You know, it's like, it's always a little bit of give and take. It's balance, you know, pick and choose. So that's how it is for me. I do a lot of intuitive eating as well. Sometimes I count my calories, but a lot of the times I don't. I usually just pay attention to, like, you know, how, like, the protein that I'm taking in, how many grams of protein I'm getting in, and then I also try to pay attention to, I don't eat too often. I usually have about 2 meals a day, and then my snack or dessert will probably be like fruit and like a yogurt, and then sometimes if I feel like it, yeah, I'll have a dessert, I'll have a brownie, I'll do, you know, but it's like, I just make sure I don't do those things every day. You know, we have to live a little. So balance is probably like where I'm getting at. The balance is so important. But anyways, yeah, so that's literally how it worked out for me. And I am wishing everyone else well, you know, on their personal fitness and weight loss journey. I always say weight loss. I know some people want to gain weight, but I'm speaking because, you know, that's my experience and everything. But anyways, I'm wishing everybody well on their own fitness and weight loss journey. And yeah, just give yourself grace, be patient with yourself, but push yourself. For me, sometimes when things get tough, you know, I invite the Holy Spirit and I'm like, God, can you please help me with this? I'm struggling with this. You know, I really want to have this right now and I know I shouldn't. Holy Spirit, help me. That's what works for me. You know, God is there. He wants us to lean on him, depend on him, even in the little things. He wants us to, you know, he's there. He wants us to embrace him. So lean on God as much as you can, even if it seems minute or small to you. God is always willing to help us out. You know, as soon as we extend our arm, he's like right there waiting for us. So that's always amazing as well. So this is just a little bit of insight as far as my weight loss journey is concerned. And yeah, so I went from 244 pounds to I think like 179. Yeah, that's around, like I said, I haven't been on the scale in a while, but last I checked, that's what it was. So yeah, so we thank God for his grace, his goodness. I'm so grateful to him because without him I couldn't have done this, and I'm so happy to go ahead and share this journey with you guys. And if you guys have any questions or want to know things like maybe what I eat in a day or any more details or how I work out, my fitness routine right now, let me know. I'll be happy to go ahead and film that. A lot of the times I like to say, if you don't ask, I'm still going to give it to you anyways. But anyways, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.